This is Georgetown, the podcast. Georgetown County and the city. Georgetown is growing, changing, expanding, and blossoming. The Hammock Coast of South Carolina. It's a renaissance. This is Georgetown, the podcast. Here's your host, Scott Richards.
Welcome to Georgetown, the podcast. I am your host, Scott Richards, and I am thrilled to be here again. And my buddy, Foy Ford, is with us today. Foy is the theater manager for, I want to make sure it's right, it's the Strand Theater and the Swamp Fox Players. I've got that sort of right?
I would say, yeah, we usually say Strand Theater, home of the Swamp Fox Players.
Strand Theater, home of the Swamp Fox Players. First of all, you are in this unbelievably fabulous theater on Front Street in Georgetown. The whole concept of this old Main Street theater it's kind of rare.
I was going to say, it is. It really is. I was going to say, we get a lot of people saying it's so nice to be able to come to Georgetown, and they go, I have a little theater in my hometown, you know. So it
Not
is
like
fun.
this.
Not like this one, though.
Not like
That's
this.
for sure.
So let's talk about the history of the Strand Theater. When did it start? What was it? The heyday. I mean, I have this magical ability to time travel. Not really, but I would love to go back to the heyday and come down to Front Street, go to a movie. Strand Theater was.
It was around 1940 that the theater was built, and they stayed in operation as a movie theater until the 1970s.
Oh, that
Yeah, it was that long. And actually on Front Street, what was really cool, what I think is a really cool thing, is there was the Strand Theater, where we are, and then there was the Palace Theater, which is now where First Citizens Bank is. So they had two movie theaters here in Georgetown.
And they were like close.
Yeah, I mean, they're just a few doors down. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
First Citizens is across the street here from the Maritime Museum. Yeah, they were actually both in the 700 block of Front Street. So when they closed as a movie theater, it was vacant for almost 10 years before Swamp Fox Players actually bought the building. And I was actually going back through just recently looking at some photos, pulling some things up, and there's one picture that they had when all the volunteers were going in and gutting the place. At that point, there was just a dirt floor in there. So they took everything out. So it was quite a mess, but there's one picture of one of the upper windows, and I haven't figured out which window it is in there, with a silhouette of a crow sitting in there. And I was like, that's kind of a little eerie, you know? That's what they said in the article I was reading. I don't know. That was before I actually moved to Georgetown. So yeah, we bought it in around 1980, 81, and I think they did the first play there in 1982 was the first play that we did there.
40 plus years as a history of Strand Theater. What has it been over those 40 years? Because I know there was a time when you did go back and show some movies.
Primarily been the community theater, live performances. About 10 years we did movies. We had the Strand Cinema, and we did that between the plays. Really what ended that was COVID, unfortunately.
Other movie theaters are feeling the same thing. That's their only business, so they have to keep going, but the attendance at regular movie theaters. But fortunately, your main business has been putting on.
It's always been putting on plays. That's been our primary focus. And at different times through the years, we've had like youth programs. That was back in, that would have been in the probably about 2003 through about 2006, because that was when our daughter was still here in high school. So they tried doing it then the youth program kind of faded out for a while, and then we had some fabulous volunteers there at the theater that came in and started. Now we have our Swamp Fox Junior Players. We had to take a year hiatus last year, but we're back in full swing with the kids. We will have them doing the Jungle Book Junior the second weekend of May, so we're excited about that.
Do you remember what the first production was?
I knew you were getting ready to ask me that.
And you don't have kids.
I want to say it was, I think maybe it had been Send Me No Flowers. I think that's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen the posters, and I think somewhere in the history you probably have it.
I have it
I'm
somewhere.
sure you do.
You're watching or listening to Georgetown, the podcast.
Let's talk about the season. You don't normally do a number of productions, and I know you used to do like a big Christmas event.
The Christmas events kind of vary from year to year depending on the regular schedule. We do 4 plays every year. That's our mainstay for our patrons. So we do 4 plays, and sometimes we do a Christmas show. This year, actually, our Christmas show will be It's a Wonderful Life, and it will be in December, but that is part of the regular season. This is kind of an odd year for us because we're doing Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, and the first week of Twelfth Night we will do on the Kaminsky lawn at 7:30.
So let's make sure people understand the Kaminsky lawn is
down the street from the theater.
the Kaminsky House. So people that are not familiar with Georgetown the way you are, but the Kaminsky House, explain what that is.
Well, the Kaminsky House, you can actually tour the home down there. They have a beautiful lawn. They are fabulous for having weddings down there on the lawn. They do other events down there. So like I said, we'll do the Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night of the first week. It's going to be free to the public. As always, donations are greatly appreciated. But we'll do that, and then we'll move to the theater for the 2 Sunday matinees, and then the last week of 12th night. So with that being in late September, that's usually later than we start, quote, our 3rd play of the season. So that's when we said, okay, we'll just do A Wonderful Life and do it at Christmas, and it will be part of the regular season.
Let's talk about the season. What does 2026 bring to the Swamp Fox Players, the Strand Theater?
Well, we have Nonsense, which opens on March 5th and runs through the 15th. And then we have Grace and Glory, which is that's the June 12th through the 22nd. And I'm trying to remember the dates in September.
Which is 12th night.
Yeah, which is 12th night.
12th night.
And that's like September, I think it's like 27th through the beginning of October. And then we'll have It's a Wonderful Life in December. So we're excited.
Oh, I can imagine. The Strand Theater, how big is it? And I want you to talk about, because the renovations have been somewhat recent. You've done some big upgrades and improvements.
We seat 232. So really, in all reality, we're a small theater. I tell everybody, I said, I've probably sat in every single seat in there, and there's not a bad seat in the house. Unless you get the really tall man in front of you and you're short like me, and then, I can't help that. So
with a big hat, and you can't, right.
That's right. Let's see, in the balcony, we have 50 seats up there. So the majority of it is down. Probably about 5 years ago, we went in and changed the slope of the theater because it was meant to be a movie theater. So that was a little different in seating than a live performance, because now we have people on the stage. So they changed the grade of it, and we got brand new seats. Well, actually, the seats came before the floor. We did the seats in, and then had to take all the seats out and change the floor. We've done a lot of different things over the years just to make improvements. We've redone the lobby a number of times. I think we got it back to that feel from more the era of
when
theater
it started
itself.
in the 1950s, get my Milk Duds and a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I was going to say, It's interesting when people come in and they go, I haven't been in here since I was a little kid. I remember getting popcorn.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about cast, crew, staffing. This is all volunteer community members. This is really community theater.
It is. Actually, I am the only paid employee, and I'm only part-time. Everybody else sits in there.
Well, technically part-time, but it seems like you're there a lot.
It varies. During the time of plays, about a month and a half.
Yeah.
I'm more full-time, but that's okay. I said, it's great. I said, it's flexible. I love that. I love being able to see the people in the community. Yeah, like I said, everybody else that's there volunteers their time, and it's a lot of time. People go, well, there's nothing going on at the theater. Why is there so long between plays? And I'm like, oh, you have no idea. The lights aren't on in the lobby, but I promise you, there's a lot going on.
Sure, from rehearsals to set building to knowing your role. cast members, you've got some people that are really important parts of the community and that have been in a lot of different things. And honestly, there's some really big talent.
There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in Georgetown. There's a lot of talent in Pawleys Island, Myrtle's Inlet. We're getting people now coming, from Conway, from Myrtle Beach, driving in. It's fun to see our old veterans on the stage, but it's also so much fun to see new people come in and bring just a different group in as well.
Now, one of our previous guests was Kevin Giroux. And I understand that he's been a big part of that at times. He's been a performer.
Kevin's done a fabulous job. I'm trying to think the last one he was in, I can't remember. Sound of Music was the last one he was in. I know he was in Forever Plaid.
Because he's a singer.
Yeah, he is. He has a great voice. I didn't realize.
Yes, and apparently he was quite the cruise ship singer.
Always glad to have him come on stage and be there with us.
Over the years, lots have changed on Front Street. Now, the idea of dinner in the show, you've got lots of opportunities on Front Street. Maybe that wasn't always the case. You had one or two choices. Has that been a big factor for you?
It is. It's great for us. I mean, we keep a list of restaurants and what days they're open and their hours and stuff so that we can give people information where their choices are. We've got a lot more choices now than we did have, so that's great. The restaurants, of course, love when we have plays because they're going to be busy.
Does it help the theater, do you think, having all these restaurant choices that says, well, let's go ahead and see a show anyway?
Yeah, I think it does. Right. Like I said, a lot of people will ask what's close by. And most everything really is within walking distance. Some of our elderly people, they're like, okay, now it's hard to find a parking place, but that's just the nature of the beast to Front Street.
But anywhere on Front Street, you could walk to the restaurant, you can walk to the theaters.
Absolutely, like I said.
So we're on Front Street. You have watched this over the years. It has changed for the better a lot.
It has.
Tell me what you've seen and what it means to you.
We've got lots more shops. We've got lots more restaurants for people to go to. I wish some more places were open on Sundays because that's the hardest day. People are like, where's there to eat? There's limited places on Sundays. But I also know my daughter's in the restaurant business. They got to have a break too. They got to have a day or two to recoup. And they're not even going home recouping. But there's a lot more to do. There's a lot more for people when they come to Georgetown, do the boardwalk, to just enjoy all of the things that Georgetown has to offer, from Kaminsky House to the tours that Kevin and them do. And I said, so there's a lot to do when you come that wasn't here when we moved here. I moved here in 1988. Yeah, it's changed a lot, all for the better.
I have to imagine it just feels better to come to work every day on this beautiful, beautiful downtown.
And it's nice to be able to share that with others when they come, because I love when our family comes and we bring them to Georgetown, and our family loves to come for the Wooden Boat Show. That's another great event for Georgetown, for people to really showcase it, even though we don't have plays going on at the time because the street's blocked off. But that's okay. I said, we plan around that. But it gives us the opportunity for people just to, they put their little hands up to the door and look and peek in.
and this new hotel, or relatively new hotel, has that had an impact for you? I mean, I would think, gosh, people come, maybe stay a night, catch a show.
They do. I said the hotel is wonderful. It gives people another different type place to stay when they come to Georgetown. And some people that are coming just because they want to stay at the George, then they say, well, we were down at the George, so then they'll look and get our play schedule and come back. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Foy, let's make sure people know where you're located. We've been talking about this. Front Street. Okay, where you're located, and you've got a website.
We are at 710 Front Street. We sit on the corner of Front and Scriven, where your dogs can drink water, the little water fountain, and kind of across the street from the clock tower. You really can't miss us, though. We got a great big marquee that says Strand above it. So you can check us out on our website, which is swampfoxplayers.com.
Swampfoxplayers.com at the Strand Theater. Or the Strand Theater home of. How do you do it?
The website is just swampfoxplayers.com. When you go to it, though, it does say the Strand Theater, home of the Swamp Fox Players, because our home really is the Strand Theater. We left the marquee up, we left Strand on it, because it is the Strand Theater. We just took it from being all a movie theater to live community theater. It is the Swamp Fox Players that actually purchased the building. So it is not one entity, it is our whole group. And we are a nonprofit 501c3.
You've got 4 performances a year. Ticket prices are very reasonable.
They are. For musicals, they're $25 for all tickets, regardless of, we don't have senior discount or children. It's all $25 for musicals and $20 for non-musicals.
Foy Ford, the theater manager, the person who does it all, the Strand Theater, home of the Swamp Fox Players. It has been a pleasure. I'm glad you could literally walk across the street here down to the Maritime Museum. And we'll do this again.
Well, thank you. And it was wonderful. Like I said, please come visit Georgetown because it is a fabulous place to be.
I am Scott Richards, and this is Georgetown, the podcast.
Thank you for watching or listening to Georgetown, the podcast. Learn more about the Hammock Coast and Georgetown. Read Georgetown Magazine in print. Pick one up around Georgetown and along the Carolina coast. Or digitally, visit readgeorgetownmag.com.